Near ecosystem. Today we are joined by Yuval, or soon will be joined by Yuval, who is going to give us a lightning presentation on Lava. For those who don't know, this aims to help scale the RPC services and demand for it. We are also joined by Fro with update on the SDK and the CLI. Unfortunately, Luke from Nearblocks won't be able to make to the call, but he provides some updates, which I'll be sharing with you. Andrei from SourceScan, Didier from PikeSpeak, and Zahid from Jutsu. And also we are joined by Hito and his team, who are going to be talking on Near API.js. So without further ado, we can start. Since Yuval is having difficulties joining this call, I suggest that we start with Fro from
I'm
with the
actually here.
update on this.
If you
Are you okay? All
if
right,
you
then.
want me to start, I can still start.
Okay, then. So, yep, Yuval, you can start on your lightning presentation on Lava Network.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Yuval. I'm leading partnerships at Lava. Specifically, I'm leading the Lava partnership with Near Foundation. So nice to meet you all. I think I've been I've been slowly getting to know the ecosystem. So I've been kind of reaching out to people and getting to see all of the amazing stuff that people are building on Near, slowly but surely. So it's very exciting to be here. I actually this was all very last minute, so I didn't prepare anything. But generally, what Lava does is it's essentially based on a Cosmos SDK L1 chain, and what it does, it enables to create an open market for blockchain data. So the most basic use case is for RPC. Then it becomes more and more complex with more advanced APIs, indexes, oracles, relayers, etc. So currently we've been working with the Near Foundation to kind of improve the developer and user experience of RPC in the Near community. I've been seeing that, there is some room for movement from, speaking with developers and getting more involved with the community. And basically what we're doing is we're creating a new public endpoint, which will allow anyone to start very fast to get started with Near and get access to the blockchain. But essentially, it's not based on any single RPC provider. It's based on multiple RPC providers and the best ones in the ecosystem. So that's, Pagoda, ChainStack, NodeReal, and we have multiple other partners that are joining as well. And we also have a very large community of node runners. So essentially this endpoint, thank you. Let me actually post, if I have another minute, I'll just show you like how it looks. But essentially it's any other endpoint that you guys know, but behind the scenes, it will connect you to multiple providers rather than a single provider. So that will allow you to have automatic fallback. So if one provider is down, your app doesn't need to go down. And also it allows for cross-referencing data. So the data is more accurate and consistent. And yeah, that's the gist of it. I've sent you the link to the gateway. I just want to show you kind of how it works. But essentially you can use Lava either on the public endpoint, which is just an endpoint, or you can sign up to the gateway, which I'm presenting now. And essentially this allows you to get the same RPC, but with higher rate limits. And we can also customize the rate limits for you guys if you need any spatial requirements. And essentially you can get RPC for both testnet and mainnet. We also have Lava SDK, which is a very exciting project which allows you to plug into providers on the network without going through any kind of server that is run by Lava itself or any kind of service. So basically to be totally self-reliant with complete peer-to-peer access with RPC providers. I don't want to talk too much because you said 5 minutes, but I think that's it. We will have archive data supported very soon. And I encourage everyone to check out the gateway. We are going to launch officially next week. And we are working with a few of the guys here and other dApps to make this a successful launch and bring more people to the to the Lava endpoint, and essentially diversify the RPC ecosystem of Near. If anyone has any questions, the best
Amazing.
way would be just to DM me via Telegram. I'll send here my handle.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks, Val, for the brief introduction to Lava and RPC. So for those of you, we put some chats who didn't see. We put some links into the chat window, or you can directly contact Yuval on Telegram, or also in our Telegram group near tools, which I'll be giving the link later on. So yeah, awesome. That's I was playing around a little bit with Lava. I'm quite excited because I see that it will be, in general, it's quite hard to get to know about the existing RPC providers, because we rely at the moment for the documentation to be updated in order for people to see it, and you have to switch. And like services like Lava can pretty much, you have one gateway and then Lava takes care of the rest. So thanks. I really hope that you have a successful launch, and I'm excited about your service. Right. So I guess we can continue with Flo, who is going to give us updates on the SDKs and the CLI. Flo, are you ready?
Yeah, hey everybody. Let me share a screen so we can immediately start with fun part. Share. All right. I won't be able to see the chat, so let me know if there are any questions there. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I will.
Awesome. So, well, today I want to actually talk about like the whole Rust stack in terms of the dev tools on here, and I will unpack it today. What I mean by it, a little bit like for those who may have not meet me, even though I'm very active in our community. I'm Frol, and I'm building DevHub together with all of you. And I joined Near back in 2019. And by the way, I use Arch, and I love Near and Rust. So this is where we can, I think, align. So if we would jump right into the topic of development on Near, I feel like this is the very simplified version of developer journey. So there is an app developer who is coming to Near ecosystem, and they are thinking about building something that either needs a front end, some UI, and then they would go to choose some front end stack available on Near. It could be Boss components, it could be classical React.js app, any other front end framework really. Near API.js is rocking these days. And otherwise, if they are into building the backend part, sort of, they would need to choose the language first, because on Near we have WebAssembly runtime on the protocol level, which means we can basically use any language, really. But Rust is one of the most loved languages, so today we will talk about Rust stack. And without further ado, let me dive into it and show how, like, what are the pieces and where how it all fits together. I'm not sure if we will have another talk today about this stuff that I will show you, but since it's, at least I'm not up to date, let me maybe picture you some of the latest and soon becoming the default way to deal with the Rust stack on Near, hopefully. And to do that, I suggest we start with this repo, which is Cargo Near new project template, which is not So it was originally created as just a template that you can clone and fork and give it a try. There are some useful links, and there is Cargo Near extension, which is the first one we will talk about today. If you're familiar with Rust, you will be familiar with Cargo. Cargo is awesome dev tool in Rust ecosystem to simplify building, testing of your project. And Cargo Near is this extension that does even more. So it allows you to basically have this Cargo Near build, Cargo Near ABI if you want to do it, Cargo Near create dev account on testnet as a standalone command, and deploy. So you don't even need to think about it too much. But let me actually show the exciting part, even more exciting part about it, is that with GitHub, they actually have this nice feature of code spaces that you can launch a VS Code right from the browser. You don't need to install anything locally. You just click the button and you have a full remote environment available to you. Nice. With this project that we just saw. And if you would, so in an ideal world, we would start immediately with Cargo Near build. We're not there yet. In fact, we don't have even Cargo here. So in today's world, we go and install Rust. So you just go to Rust app, regular flow, how you would do it, and install. Actually, I also realized that we can use stable channel here instead of pinned version of Rust. And also we will need to install Cargo Near. So if we go to Cargo Near, and well, I just tested it. The most recent 2 releases do not work in this environment. Let's pick the previous one and install it here. Boom. So now we have Rust and Cargo Near installed here. And we need to restart the shell so it picks up or source the env. We can source env. And now we have Cargo. Okay, yeah. It actually also installed Wasm runtime for us, Wasm target. And Cargo Near. Nice. So what's next? So, well, we can immediately start with Cargo Near. So it's, if you were familiar with other CLIs in Rust, they are all interactive and helpful. So we don't even need to type down the whole command there. And we can start with creating dev account. So let's create a dev account, use a random account ID for it, enter. Wait a little bit for it to check which account names are available. And hopefully soon, yeah, it offers us to also auto-generate a new key pair for this account. I will save the access key in the legacy keychain because there is no system keychain inside this virtual environment. We'll probably need to smooth this user experience for the future. And it's going to be testnet account, obviously, and we are creating it. So with this simple flow, we already have our testnet account in a moment, and we can start with Cargo Near build. While we're speaking, it will be building the dependencies. Let me close it for now and just walk you through what's inside this project, basically. So, well, we'll start with README. README is pretty short and sweet. You can test the contract, you can build it, you can deploy it. right from here, and there are plenty of useful documentation resources. The source code of it is a standard set status message contract with some unit test, I believe here, and with some end-to-end integration testing here with near workspaces, which compiles the whole contract and interact with it. So the thing that I want to point out is basically there are several things in play here. The next step after the CLI part is basically the SDK, which you probably is familiar with, and the near workspaces. It's the end-to-end testing framework, and with this, and these two basically compile a lot of other small, nice dependencies internally, which allow us to build these sandboxed environments for local testing. So we don't even need to use testnet for testing the contract. We can simulate everything locally. And the SDK itself is pretty neat and polished. And the 5.0 release makes even more nice touches there. So what's the status here? Almost done. Yeah, so this is the developer experience part, but there is also another CLI which you may have also seen, but I think it's nice to always see it in action. It's near-sdk-rs, which is also which is more general purpose CLI for near ecosystem. If you go to releases, you can pick any of the versions. I believe, unfortunately, in this environment that I'm testing, I need to go and grab some older version for it to be installable inside this environment. On regular Linux box and regular Mac OS Windows, it works fine. Just something specific about this environment that I will investigate further. Yeah, so this was the whole installation. It's already installed, and you can use near commands to interact with. You can view help if you are into typing it out, or you can just go into near command, hit enter, and interact with this nice way. So, and what we will probably do, let's check out what was the account. Oh, okay, it's compiled now. What was the account that was created for us? Create. Create new account. Redundant chain. Okay. Let it be. And I'd like to view the this account summary. Actually, it has auto-completion based on recent interactions. So I actually didn't need to copy paste it. And let's just view, okay, it has 5 near already on the balance. It has 1 full access key, and there is no contract code there yet. So let's do cargo near deploy, where we want to deploy to this account. It will recompile it just to be on the safe side. We don't need to have any initialization function calling, and it's testnet, yes. And we're signing from legacy keychain, send, boom. So this will deploy the code to the chain. No magical shenanigans, hopefully. Transaction doesn't exist. Interesting. I think it was still submitted, it just failed to. No contract code. Okay, let's try once again. And the nice part is that you can always just copy paste the full command from here. You don't need to always go through the interactive mode. You can even cut it in the middle and use part of the command if you want to replay it only partially.
Vlad, one question that we have in the chat is, do we have any release date for the Rust SDK 5?
Not like it is like all these paper cuts are currently being fixed, and as soon as we go through this experience end to end with no hiccups, it will be released hopefully in like next week too, and that's all. Yeah. So I don't want to take any longer time. I will investigate what's going on here. The overall experience, I think, is more or less clear. So as I said, like I can cut it, this command at any point, and it will just interactively ask me for the missing bits of the command. Oh, actually, it was deployed. I don't know what's going on with testnet right now.
Yeah, we actually had a suggestion from Noah that he spends about 3 minutes to present, or like 4, is it 4? 3 minutes to actually see how simplified now the dev container is. Is that correct, Noah?
Nice.
Yep.
Sorry for taking, but I still think it's cool to see how it works underneath. But it would be definitely great to see how it's improved with your help. So yeah, and last thing that I just wanted to show is how to call a function. We are selecting that we are interacting with the contract. We want to call a function read only on our contract, and it's get status function. We are passing parameters as JSON. So get status receives account ID. Well, it doesn't really matter. Account ID, we didn't set anything there yet, so it will be just return an empty result. But yeah, now, but the nice part is this: we can always copy paste it. Boom, we have this result. Yeah, thanks for listening in. And once again, it's being only possible because we had a lot of people contributing to this whole experience end to end, from near workspaces, near SDK, near CLI. So I invite those who are interested in contributing to this tooling to join through near DevHub.org. There is a fellowship program where you can find those who can guide you to contribute to docs, to tooling. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Awesome. Thanks, Ro. And another question that we have from the chat is, do you envision the complete division of the JS and the Rust tools? An example, Rust devs use Cargo and the JS devs use Node MPN. Like how would...
Yeah, so ideally, the developers of respective platform are using their native tooling. So I expect Rust devs would use Cargo extension, while JS developers would use something from NPX or yes, some of that experience. But some of the tools like near-CLI-rs could be universal, and it doesn't need to be dependent on the stack of developer. But other like Cargo and near-new, it doesn't make any sense to be built for like JS world. Hopefully, that makes sense.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Ro. Noah, are you ready to present? This is a very last minute, actually. It happens right now live for all of us. So Noah is going to present how the dev container is simplified. So this is something that you have been working on currently under DevHub, I believe, or?
Yeah. So in short, I got a grant. It was confirmed like last week, and I started work a bit early because I had some free time. So the grant is to implement a dev container which can be reused for all near Rust projects. In that, I came across a few hurdles, namely the fact that some of the tooling for dev containers was a bit under-maintained, so I had to contribute to a few other minor projects for dev containers and dev container features. But the final decision was to write a dev container, which is like the base for everything, which is just more or less a Docker file that installs Rust, okay, and also additional packages that are needed. So if you were doing this, and if you tried to build maybe something more advanced, or maybe installing Cargo Near from source, you would face some problems. So when you pull up code spaces like you did, you run what's called a universal image, which has a lot of stuff installed in it, a lot of different developer libraries, etc. So it's a bit heavier than what one may use in a more like if they're only trying to do one thing, which is Rust development. And dev containers are all about being more specific. So in short, I'm building a container for Rust. I'm adding the libudev library, which I found was needed because of hid api crate, which is a Cargo Near dependency. I'm building a dev container from that, as well as adding some common utils. I'm adding cargo b install to speed up installations of any cargo packages. I'm adding Git because you're going to need Git, right? Which comes by default in code spaces, but since this is a general dev container, I found it useful. Rust, this is the feature I had to fix. So LLVM, for anything advanced, and this is thinking ahead with like WasnCov grant in mind, I'm going to need the LLVM. So I'm just putting in LLVM right now because, I'm going to need to do work on this feature anyway to get everything working. And I also wrote a custom feature for Cargo Near, which is defined here. So this is the dev container feature for Cargo Near, which depends on Rust and b install, and it installs Cargo Near directly. That's pretty much it. No options, nothing for now, and hopefully it will be deployed to maybe a repo. I need to see where I would put it. So there's a dev containers community, or I could put it under Near protocol as a repo. These are all options that I just need an executive decision later on. And you may have noticed I'm in VS Code right now, and what you probably didn't notice was that I'm actually in the dev container right now. So this is a dev container we're running here. Literally a minute ago, I built it, and right now it supports Cargo Near, it supports Cargo Build, whatever you want. Everything's working fine, and you could honestly start using it right now. But the stuff I need to do is I need to maybe publish this feature to the GitHub container repository for Cargo Near, and I need to see where I want to put this whole dev container definition, because right now it's in the Cargo Near new project, and it may make sense to put it somewhere else. Other than that, it's honestly working. You can use it if you want. I can send code to individuals. I'm just not ready for like a public release yet. Yeah, that's it. 3 minutes up.
All right, amazing. Thanks a lot, Noah. Yeah, so as was earlier mentioned, unfortunately, Luke from NearBlocks is not going to be able to make it to today's course, but he briefly provided a few updates, and one of them actually is that they're almost close to releasing the entire NearBlocks, as far as I understood, on Boss. So I'm going to drop the link into the call. So basically, you can go beta.neardocs.io, and so they're close to releasing the entire Explorer, I believe, on Boss, which is amazing. They're still addressing remaining feedback issues like holders, and which some of them are slow to update, as by his words, is every 24 hours. And basically, they are still looking for feedback, and if you want to reach them, you can do so on our public channels, be it in the near-dev Telegram group or the two links, so they're widely available. And yeah, for the remaining, or at least for what they're planning to work on, I'm going to drop, you can actually see their post on DevHub, so on Near Social. So I am putting this link in the into the chat. And yeah, this would be the very fast and brief updates from NearBlocks. So we also are having on the call Andrei from SourceScan. Andrei, are you around?
Hello, everyone.
Show up. Yep.
Yeah.
So the next updates and the presentation we'll get is from SourceScan. So go ahead.
Okay, so hello, everyone. And today I would like to talk a little bit about our project, SourceScan, which is a near-native WASM smart contract code verifier. So why did we start building this project at all in the first place? We really believe that such technology that is a common thing among all the blockchains, eliminates the need of facing black box contracts, enhances developer onboarding experience, allows trustless anonymous creations of smart contracts, improves robustness and security of the blockchain, and also enables ecosystem participants to detect fraud before it is too late. And in the past 3 months, we have been working on some features that would improve our first approach that has some drawbacks. And today I would like to focus on such features as WASM reproducibility across the client side and server side. Also, you don't need to provide the full access key for us to verify the smart contract now. Also, we implemented the contract code viewer, and we started to work on the contract reputation system. Let's head to the demo. Here I have some example project that was prepared for this presentation. It's a simple Rust smart contract, but I will be building it not in a simple way. I have a special script builder, which this script will pull the latest contract builder image, and it will create a container with this image and mount the hosts folder that we're currently working with into the reproducible environment. So with I option, you can specify any reproducible image you would like to use for the compilation, and with R option, you can specify the command you're going to execute. I will be executing the build.sh. It's a common Rust compilation script, and as you can see, the container was created, and the host environment was mounted inside of it, and right now it is building into the folder of the host. And so the CPU architecture affects the reproducibility of WASM. So that's why. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, it affects the reproducibility of WASM. So that's why we use only MD64 images. But as you can see, I'm on Mac that has M2 chip, it's ARM, and under the CPU emulation, there are no problems to compile like that. So we have an output WASM here. Now I will just simply use a near-sdk-rs to deploy the smart contract to the newly created account. Yes, and it was deployed. Now I need the name. Now I will go to the boss app of SourceScan. We need to go to verify page. Here we need to specify the name of the smart contract. Then I will choose the GitHub repo that I was using. Then I would need to choose the branch and commit the entry point. And also we have here two options. The old option where you can verify and deploy through the full access key, and the new option with the Docker image. So here you can copy the digest of the image that is currently used on the compilation server. Here you press this button to be able to verify. This tutorial has the steps that we have done in the start of the demo. Also, you can optionally upload to IPFS, and I press verify. And right now on the remote compilation server, the same commit is being compiled in the same container using the same Docker image. And as you can see, contract was verified successfully. I haven't used any full access keys or so. I'm on the different account here. I haven't signed any transaction. Now I will go to the scan page to see the new smart contract. And here's the new smart contract. I will go to show more. So here you can see this code hash of the smart contract. I also have a special script that can provide us with the code hash of a local WASM file. Let's do so and compare it. So as you can see, the code hash is the same. So I was able to reproduce the same WASM on my server, the same as I did on the client side. Also, we are storing the builder image here. So even when few years would pass, it would be possible to recompile the same project, having the exact commit, having the entry point and builder image of the environment, to have the same code hash. Also, we have the ability to view source code by GitHub, which is yes, and by default it OpenSleep.rs. Also, we have a special code viewer that is fetching the code directly from IPFS. Also, we have the social features of the smart contract, such as upvotes, downvotes. This would affect its reputation in the future. Also, you can leave a comment here. So let's do so. And as you can see, one comment has appeared, and we can also upload and download comments. And based on the upvotes and downloads, comments are displayed differently on the page. So that was it with the demo. Let's take a look a little bit on the technical side verification. So first of all, in the CLI, we compile the smart contract in a reproducible environment, then deploys it to near blockchain using any tool we want. Then in both app, we are accessing the source scan IP to clone the repo, check out the commit, and request the compilation and verification of the code. On the server side, it clones the repo in the temp folder that will be available only for 10 minutes. Then it compiles this folder in the container using the same Docker image as client. Then it compares the checksum of local WASM that has just been compiled and the code hash that is on chain. So if checksum matches, it adds this contract to the verified contracts in our smart contract using our signer private key. This is the great solution to use in CI/CD pipelines such as GitHub Actions, which is commonly used in the critical smart contracts on Near. When you compile and deploy contract in a GitHub action, and after that you delete the all access key, so the contract would be locked since the start. Also, the cloud-based development environment fits perfectly with this solution because they are pre-built with the Docker engine, and the user don't need to install Docker engine on their machine. So in the future, we're planning to integrate in Cargo Near, and also there would be a Lake framework indexer that would automatically cache all deploy actions and compound verify the code. So the final flow should look something like this. The user starts the code spaces for the selected repo, runs one single command cargo near deploy. This command compiles in a reproducible environment the contract, deploys it. Then the repo information is stored in contract metadata. On the server side, the indexer listens to the deploy actions, checks the metadata, sends the request to compile and verify the contract, and the servers are compiling and verifying the contract as it was before. Also, here are some useful links. We have a documentation that has more information on the technical side of the source scan, and also GitHub. All the code is open source, and also there are some good examples over there. So this was it. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Amazing. Thank you very much. See, yeah, seems like a lot of people are excited about it, and indeed, that is the case. So I'll wait for a minute, just see if any questions. Also a reminder that we can all reach into the Telegram group. So if you're interested more about actually connecting with the projects that are currently presenting, those are just members of our community, which we are happy to have around. So yeah, come and join us on the Telegram channel and let's continue the talks. Next on the agenda, since I don't see any current questions, or we have only question that Owen has, if you can share the deck, Andre, so your presentation deck, if you can put it into the chat, that would be amazing. Meanwhile, I believe next on the agenda is Didier from PikeSpeak. Didier?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, sorry if I butchered your name, but my name is not that easy as well.
No, DJ works fine.
Okay, awesome. It's good that on mine just says DevHub. That's pretty good. Anyway, so take it away.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation, by the way, and very glad to be here. I think it's my first time in the DevHub community call. Anyway, I'm the co-founder of PikeSpeak, which is a data and analytics solution built on Near. We've been live for a year now, and we've just released a new version yesterday. And for example, we used to have this awful login wall, but we removed that, and we also pushed new features and a new, I would say, user experience. So I'm not going to do a full demo, but yeah, basically PikeSpeak is three things, right? We have top of the iceberg, all the dashboards that are accessible for free. Then we have our API with 50 plus endpoints, and you can, query data on a specific address, for example, or also metrics related to a specific validator and so on. And the third and last thing we do is more specific and niche / on-demand features like, custom indexers, as we did for ShardDoc, for example, or one for NDC as another example. But just, to share my screen very quickly here. So you could use PikeSpeak, I guess, as an alternative to NearBlocks. We ambition to be in the Explorer selector very soon, but that's the home page now, where you can input any address or transaction hash. Block ID will come very soon. So you have the TPS meta insights, such as the total number of accounts, daily unique active accounts, and also some trends about what's happening on the FT transfer side, but also the stablecoin transfers. So you can go to PikeSpeak and have a feel and have a look at this new version. We removed a lot of noise we used to have. Basically, we also have the money section where you can check what's trending in terms of tokens, stable coins, and if you want to dig in, you have access to the full rich list for this token, the number of holders, number of transfers, the wealth concentration as well, and the last transfers. And if you go back here for the transaction Explorer, so for example, we take this one, it's an Explorer, so you have the breakdown of the different receipt, and we also have a tree view of any transaction, so you can dig in right for the different receipt here. And and if you click on an account, you have access to, well, this is okay. This is interesting. You have access to basically the Wallet Explorer, where you have the overview for specific accounts if it's a contract. We also added something interesting, which is the money flow for a specific address. You can have this for any address, whether it's a contract or not, right? But it's quite interesting if you want to understand and have a picture at a glance of how the money is moving from and to this account. And we have the same thing for the token, right? And you can dig in for any token. And yeah, otherwise the historical view where you have access to all the transactions, and we are still working on parsing well-known transactions such as swap on refinance, like a staking or unstaking event, for example, and so on. So I'm not going to do a full demo, but if you haven't seen the new version, I would encourage you to have a look and make feedback if you have any. And we have a lot of new improvements coming too. But yeah, this is our new PikeSpeak.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I would dig into it right after the code, to be honest. It looks amazing, and it's really good to see more data available to all of the users. It might be interesting to explore the idea of also bringing it up as a component on the near.org or near social. So that's
Yes.
an interesting concept that could be explored, I assume. So next on the agenda is Zahid from Jutsu. Zahid, are you around?
Yeah, I'm. Hi, everyone. So thank you for the invite. I'm going to share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, because I don't see you, so that. Okay, so. So I'm Zahid, founder of Jutsu. I'll tell a little bit more about myself, but today I want to just show our plan of kind of a V1 launch, how we are planning. So the agenda is simple. I want to talk who I am, and then our product demo, some of the new features we created, and our roadmap. So first of all, I am Zahid, and I'm building Jutsu for almost 1 year. Exactly last year in Denver in Boss Hackathon. So when I participated in the Boss Hackathon, and that was kind of where I created some components, and then I realized how difficult it was to build a component. From there, I created a simple IDE, web IDE, and then community started using it, and that's how it started. So, and I'm involved with Near ecosystem almost 2 years now. Other than that, I run one of the largest JavaScript meetup group in San Francisco. And I really want to build a bridge between Web 2 and Web 3 and make the Web 3 development experience as smooth as possible. Other than those, I have been working in AI for many, many years, and now trying to bring all my AI experience into Web 3. So instead of talking, let's go and see some demo. First, I cannot see how many of you used Jutsu, but Jutsu is a web IDE designed to build a Boss component. And the main goal for Jutsu is to kind of help beginner and intermediate developer who don't want to install all the local dependency just to get started. So when you log in, you kind of land into a web IDE. So probably some of you already use this platform, but the new features are lots of community developer ask about what are the different things supported in Boss VM. Some of you who knows what is Boss? Boss kind of a framework that run a framework called VM, near social VM, and that kind of convert your code from blockchain and then kind of render it in a website. So, And there are a lot of functionality. So it supports React-like component, but it's not entirely React. So it is very difficult for developer to know like what are the functionality are available in VM that I cannot use as a React developer. So today we added some intelligence. So let's say I want to know, let's say I want to use social. So when you start typing, you'll see our intelligence will show you what are the different classes are supported by near VM. So we can see there is a near social.get, and you'll get the full function signature of all those. So let's say I want to call a near smart contract, right? So I can start typing, and then I can see like a near object have a call method, and then you'll get the definition of the call method. Typically, what you have to do, you have to go to the documentation. So near have Boss have a really decent documentation where you can go and you can read about all these different functionality, or you can just from within the IDE, you will be able to kind of start getting an idea of what kind of component it support. So it's not only just the JavaScript component. When you come and you start typing, you'll know like there are a lot of web component that near VM support. For example, Markdown, or if you want to upload an image, or if you want to create a type ahead. So this is kind of making developer life a little bit easier, so that they don't have to kind of worry about like going to different documentation and reading about what other things are supported. And our goal is to kind of keep this list up to date with all the new features that Near Social will launch. The second feature is one of the main use case that we saw like a lot of people use Boss for is during the hackathon, or like when you are building in a team, or even in an education setting, like you are running a workshop or something, then you need to collaborate or show other people code. So we built a feature called live collaboration, where you can start a collaboration, a component, and then let me share this with the community, and you guys can just go to that link, and then we'll start seeing like people. Just try that link, so we can see a lot of people. If you are logged in, so this person is logged in, so it will show your near ID, but you don't have to log in. So we can all collaboratively kind of build something. So build a component. So that's like the core idea here is for a small team who want to kind of collaborate, or if you are in a hackathon and then you have a 4 or 5 people team, you want to start building. So that's the kind of the goal for this collaboration feature. And another big challenge of kind of a building component is kind of how do I know, let's say I want to build a component, but where do I start? So I'll start, you can keep playing with the collaboration, but like, so let's say I want to see like if I can add a, or some sort of component, like a DeFi component in my here. So of course, you can go to the search box, and then you can search. Search Uniswap or anything really. But from inside your IDE, let's say if I want to know, like, I want to use Uniswap or something, so you can now press Command P. So it will open a more like a Visual Studio Code, like a quick search, and then you can search like Uniswap, and then. So this is, then it will, basically you can search any component here, and then just for quick, let's say Linktree. So instead of like every time you have to go to kind of a search and then check the component. Of course, when you go to search, you get the detail, you get the history, but you can do all those things in from inside the IDE. The third feature I'm really interested. So all these things, all these features are kind of we are planning to launch before Denver. So a lot of things are kind of experimental. So one of the thing is we're building a copilot. So where basically the idea is to help developer to build like a more like can I build something with collaboration with a copilot, like a GitHub copilot. So let's say if I select my code and then I can say, can you add a hero or a h1 div with hello world. So we are still
sorry for jumping in, Zahid. I just wanted to give heads up to everyone that we are just crossing the 1 hour mark, but this is not a hard stop. So if you have another couple of minutes, would be amazing. And don't miss on the talk that Christo and LimeChain are having on near-API.js as well. So yeah, well, sorry, Zahid, I just wanted to know that.
Okay, I'll be quick. So you can see like it gives me this this code, component code. So if I can just copy and paste, now I can see it created a H1. But it's not just creating a H1. The goal is to kind of taking all the component that we have today and kind of training a model so that like it can generate more boss component, because boss component, you know that it's different than just generating React. The last one I will show is like, so one of the feature we are also building where you can build a landing page or a simple app using, this will be mostly for if you need a landing page or a website builder. So with just prompt. Other than like that, like a pull request and documentation, those are kind of there for a while. So this, give it a try. All the new features, the Copilot and the Bento will be ready in, let's say, mid-February. So that's kind of the goal. And another thing we did is, so we received, or we received a grant from DevHub, so kind of build a bunch of features. So we have a public roadmap that I'll share. So these are kind of just some idea, but like those people probably know me, like I love to build with community because it's a community tool. So feel free to kind of, I'll share this link, feel free to propose new, follow the roadmap and propose new features. So we also have a place where you can request new features. And I can guarantee you that I will read your feature request and then I'll do my best to kind of implement those. Yeah, and if finally, yeah, if you have any question, go give it give Jutsu a try and let me know if you have any question.
Amazing, great work, Zahid. I know that you have put quite a lot of effort into it, and it really shows. I will drop in the chat the Telegram channel for Jutsu. So if people want to reach you, they can do so. You're quite active also on Telegram and also in the community groups. So I encourage people, if you have anything to do with Jutsu, just reach out to Zahid. Amazing. And yeah, so last but not least, we have Christo, I believe, on the call, Victor as well, and joined by their colleagues from LimeChain, who are going to be talking about near-API.js. So I'm not quite sure who's going to present. Is it you, Christo?
Yeah, I'll start here. We will do the screen
Awesome.
Yeah,
then take it away.
Okay, so yeah, thanks a lot for encouraging us to join here. Actually, Ludmila is very interesting, and we're happy to provide further insights into what we're doing. So a little bit more context about who we are at LimeChain, because it was, I think, around a year the last time we joined the community call. So we are a software development company. We're focused entirely on blockchain-related projects. One of our core missions and the reasons why we exist is that we would like to support the technology advancement of the DOT space as a whole. That said, for the last 6 years, we have contributed to a variety of ecosystems. We're proud to say that from the top 20 widely adopted ecosystems, we have contributed to most of them. We have done a lot of projects such as different kinds of toolings, SDKs, CLIs, hosts, relayers, runtimes, alternative clients, and etc. etc. Naturally, our R&D right now and for the last year is focused a little bit more on scalability solutions, ZKs, cross-rollup communication, data availability, all the topics that are some kind of trendy these days. Our journey with Near started, I think it was around a year ago, with a relatively small contribution by implementing a module for Near API.js that enables local execution of view calls. Recently, we managed to do a lot of updates and enhancements in the Near API.js, which we want to present here. So that's actually the first point in our agenda to get everybody up to speed to what we have done so far for the last 3 months. Besides that, as the next step, we have more or less a clear agenda on what we want to do for the next 3 months. So we want to present that as well. And we also like to use the opportunity because it's important for us to collaborate with the community extensively. So we would like to the opportunity for something like a shout out to encourage everybody. If you have any ideas, pain points, everything that you would like to see happening in your API.js, you can use the opportunity to bring it now or reach out to us after that. We'll be happy to discuss with anybody any ideas and make sure that we're implementing things that are recognized by the community as significant contributions. That said, I'd like to hand over now the talk to Vic, who will be presenting a little bit more technical details on what we have done. And of course, if you have any questions, suggestions, comments, please feel free to broad those. So Vic, up to you.
Okay, so thanks, Christo. As you briefly mentioned, in the last few months, LimeChain's team took ownership of most of Near API.js's development and maintenance. And as with every unknown repository, we had to spend some time grooming and housekeeping initially in order to get to know it better and understand its outstanding issues. And as a result of that, in the last 3 months, we have successfully reviewed 4 PRs by external contributors. We have closed 4 old PRs that weren't relevant anymore, and we have merged already 12 PRs that are part of our issue resolving and upgrading the functionality of Near.js. So if you take a look at the graph, this means that we have touched upon about 45% of the pull requests that are currently open on that were open at some point on Near API.js. Regarding the issues, we can see that we have closed 25 irrelevant ones. These were mostly very, very old issues that were dating all the way back to 2020. And they weren't like up to date anymore, and we just closed them. And during our few months here, we have managed to resolve 5 outstanding issues that were with very high priority and impact. And we intend to work on at least 5 or 6 of those in the next few months. Now that we have the bigger picture laid out, we can focus on the key changes that we have made by resolving or merging some of these PRs. And the first thing we will talk about is security, and we know that it's a critical aspect of every open source library, and even more when we are talking about a Web3 library or 2. We all know what happened a few weeks ago with Ledger, and we don't want to take any chances with that happening to the Near ecosystem. And that's why we have taken a few measures to tighten up the security. We have locked package.json dependency file versions, which decreases the attack vector of supply chain attacks. And we have removed some unneeded dependencies, such as JS256 and bn.js. And we have also changed the previous cryptographic library, which was TweetNackle, with a more reliable and smaller in terms of size, called Noble Curves. This Noble Curves library is already pretty integrated into the Ethereum world. It's well audited, and it should be a reliable one. Okay, the next thing is bundle size. Although it's something that sometimes is neglected. Sorry, in JS libraries, our team strives to deliver the most amount of functionality with the least amount of dependency, and such. Because of that, we have removed some unneeded dependencies, as mentioned before, and we have managed to currently reduce the size by 5%. And as you can see on the chart, after the PR for removing bn.js and replacing it with the native begin of JavaScript, this size will drop by another 10%. There are some technical reasons why we're not merging it currently, and mostly that it will be a breaking change, and we try to group a few breaking changes together so that we don't have unnecessary version bumps. Yeah. And as it will be mentioned in our future plans, our current plans actually, we intend to remove also not to remove, but replace the HAV library, which is currently used for JSON parsing, and it will reduce the size by another 25 to 30%, because this library is currently the biggest one of all the bundle, and it's taking up about 30% of the size for just parsing some JSONs. And last but not least, we have done some work regarding the documentation and tutorials. This is a never-ending effort when working on open source software. And in the first few weeks while working on near-API.js, we've managed to fix some typos and broken links. We've added JS docs to functions that didn't already have one. And we have created a guide called Integrating near-API.js with React. And it will be out very soon on LimeChain's Medium. We're currently putting some final touches and reviewing feedback. Huge thanks to Vlad and Guillermo for the feedback. And yeah, if you don't have any questions about what we've done up until now, I will continue with our current scope. So as mentioned already, we intend to reduce the bundle size by another 30% by replacing HAV library. We intend to improve the error handling and code coverage by increasing the amount of unit tests and code covered. We intend to integrate Lava mode, which will further enhance the protection against supply chain attacks. We will create Angular and Vue templates, and also add a bunch of new features. And even more, you can see all of the details of our work in our near social post. I believe Christo can send it somewhere here, or you can just type in LimeChain in the search bar in near.social. And yes?
Sorry, I'm just curious, like, is it like a near API.js, or is it a separate library? And what is the relation with near API.js with Angular or Vue? Is this part of the template? So I'm just curious.
Yeah, this will be just boilerplates that anyone can just git clone and start coding right away without doing all the sometimes cumbersome setup that might be needed with front-end frameworks.
My question is it part of near-API.js, or is it a separate template, like you have a separate project for templates?
No. It will just be a separate GitHub repository that you can clone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. And following this, we are going to talk about a bit our future work and ideas. They're basically going to gravitate around improving developer experience, reliability, and security of the packages. I've already talked about this. We're going to create some front-end specific tools that will make the life of developers much easier, such as creating React hooks for near-API.js. This means that common functionality that is used in almost all projects will be abstracted away to hooks. We also want to create some backend specific guides and examples. For example, using near-API.js in Node.js environment in order to authenticate users or to generate keys. And as Christo already mentioned, we would love to gather more ideas from the community. This way, we feel that we make an impact to their lives by resolving their issues. Yeah. Thank you for your attention. If I have, I will pass it to Christo for if he has any closing words. And do you have any questions about our topics?
Yeah, and again, for everybody that will be watching this after that on a recording, we can drop I drop my Telegram handle here. So if there are any further comments, ideas, suggestions, questions, we'll be happy to discuss those and see how we can improve near-API.js, because at the end of the day, this is very, very important component, and it's I mean, at the end of the day, it is the first thing that developers have touch base with when they start working with the near tech stack. So it's important that it aligns with the community expectations and provide the best developer experience.
Amazing. Thank you very much, everyone. I would like to thank to all of the participants who made it this far, and actually all the people who are doing this amazing work that we are having around Near ecosystem. I would like to share our Telegram. This is the Near Tools community group, and I highly encourage that if your project or you know somebody who is willing to or is interested into tooling, join it. Let's talk. We are a pretty active community over there, and we would love to have you on the next call. Speaking of the next calls, we are aiming to have these calls held at least once a month. So we're already in the process of planning for the next call. So if you have anything or any news or anything that you would like to share with the community, please let us know. And thank you very much. If that's everything from everyone. All right, then I guess I will see you around and see you on the next call. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.